You ever blink at your bank account 3 days after payday and think, where the hell did it all go? Yeah, same. You get paid, maybe treat yourself to a cheeky coffee or finally replace that cracked phone screen, and next thing you know, you're staring at your account like it's personally offended you. The rent's due, groceries have doubled in price since last month, and petrol? Don't even start. Living paycheck to paycheck used to be something people whispered about. A temporary phase you got through in your early 20s, right? Not anymore. It's gone from being that uncomfortable topic no one talks about to becoming practically a rite of passage in modern Australia. And it's not just broke uni students living off 2-minute noodles. We're talking teachers, tradies, nurses, hospitality workers, office folks, even people earning 6 figures. Everyone's feeling the pinch. This isn't about bad budgeting or poor choices. This is a system that's squeezing people from all angles. So let's unpack this mess. No sugarcoating, no just stop buying lattes advice. Just a real honest look at why Aussies are stuck in the paycheck to paycheck loop. And what the heck we can actually do about it. Spoiler, it doesn't involve a magical inheritance or robbing a bank. The Great Aussie Squeeze. Remember the good old days when $50 could fill your fridge and fuel your car? Yeah, me neither. Over the past couple of years, we've been caught in a perfect economic storm. Interest rate hikes, skyrocketing rents, inflation doing backflips, and wage growth slower than a sloth on a Sunday. Let's hit some cold hard stats. According to NAB's Financial Hardship Report, late 2024, 1 in 2 Australians say they're experiencing financial hardship. The ABS reported that household living costs rose by 9.6% for employee households in the 12 months to September 2023. Rent? Oh, you mean that monthly robbery? CoreLogic data shows that rents have jumped by over 30% since 2020. Meanwhile, wages have only increased around 3.6% over the past year, 2023 figures, and that's barely keeping up with the price of lettuce, let alone life. So yeah, even if you're working full-time, budgeting like a legend, and skipping smashed AVO, it still feels like you're on a treadmill that's speeding up while you're wearing thongs. It's not just the low-income earners. There's this common myth that only poor people live paycheck to paycheck. Like it's something that just happens when you're on minimum wage or working casual shifts at Macca's. Let me bust that one right now. Because in today's Australia, it's not just the low-income earners who are struggling. It's the middle class, the comfortable, even the so-called well-off. According to the Australian Unity Wellbeing Index, more and more middle-income earners are finding it hard to stay afloat. We're talking people making between $90,000 and $120,000 a year. And even they're sweating by the time payday rolls around. And the numbers don't lie. A 2023 Finder survey revealed that 78% of Australians are living paycheck to paycheck, including high-income earners. That's not just a stat. That's almost 8 in 10 of us crossing our fingers at the checkout. Why? Because lifestyle inflation is real, and so are mortgage repayments with interest rates that feel like a punch to the face. Throw in sky-high rents, expensive childcare, rising groceries, and the fact that a trip to the servo now requires a small loan. And suddenly, your decent salary doesn't stretch like it used to. This is the new normal for many Australians. And it's got nothing to do with being bad with money. Welcome to the subscription apocalypse. Let's talk about the sneaky little devils quietly bleeding your bank account dry. Subscriptions. You know the ones. You signed up for a free trial and never canceled. Now they're just chilling on your credit card statement every month like unwanted squatters. Spotify, Netflix, Disney+, Binge, Apple TV, Uber One, Amazon Prime, HelloFresh, that meditation app you opened twice, and of course, the gym membership you haven't touched since before winter last year. Individually, they all seem harmless. It's just $9.99 a month, you tell yourself. But stack them all up, and suddenly you're forking out $200 or more a month. That's $2,400 a year. You could have flown to Bali, stayed in a nice resort, got a massage every day, and still come home with change. Instead, you've got 3 streaming services you barely use because you're too tired to watch anything after work. Now imagine piling that on top of climbing electricity bills, groceries that cost more than your weekly wage, insurance premiums, petrol, Rego, and the odd flat white. It adds up fast. It's like death by 1,000 tiny cuts, except instead of paper, it's direct debits. And your bank account is the one bleeding. Renters, you're not imagining things. If you're renting right now, congratulations. You're officially part of the most financially stressed group in the country. No, seriously. Renters in Australia are doing it tough, and not just in a can't-afford avocado toast way. We're talking proper, wallet-squeezing, anxiety-inducing pressure. A 2024 report from Anglicare dropped a reality bomb. Less than 1% of rental properties are affordable for people on minimum wage or Centrelink benefits. 1%. That's basically nothing. And even for people with decent jobs, nurses, teachers, hospitality workers, admin legends, trying to find a rental that doesn't swallow half your paycheck is like auditioning for the Hunger Games, except instead of dodging arrows, you're dodging application rejections and outbidding 15 other desperate tenants. And don't even get me started on inspections. Turning up with a resume, references, and a smile just to look at a tiny one-bedder with mold on the ceiling is the new norm. And if you're lucky enough to land a place, expect rent hikes that make your eye twitch. Thinking of buying? Good luck with that. The median house price in Sydney is over $1.2 million. In Melbourne, it's floating around $900,000. Even regional areas that used to be affordable are now seeing price hikes thanks to city folks moving out and bidding everything up. The old dream of buying a little home with a backyard and a barbecue is now more like winning the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's housing lottery. For most Aussies, owning a home has gone from being a rite of passage to a distant, foggy fantasy. Something your grandparents did, not something you'll realistically pull off without a lotto win or a generous inheritance. Renting isn't just stressful, it's a full-time financial workout. Credit cards, buy now, cry later. To bridge the ever-growing gap between income and expenses, more Aussies are turning to the old safety net, credit. But these days, it's less safety net and more financial quicksand. Buy now, pay later. BNPL services like Afterpay, Zip, and Klarna have become the budget duct tape for thousands, offering that sweet illusion of flexibility. Need new shoes? BNPL. Unexpected car repair? BNPL. Grocery bill came in hot this week? Yep, BNPL again. But that duct tape? It's starting to split at the seams. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission, ASIC, has reported a big jump in late fees, missed payments, and people using BNPL to cover essentials, like food. That's a red flag if there ever was one. And it's not just BNPL. Credit card debt is creeping back up too, after briefly dipping during pandemic lockdowns. As of the end of 2023, Aussies collectively owed over $17 billion on credit cards. That's a lot of interest, a lot of minimum payments, and a lot of stress. Living off credit isn't just unsustainable, it's emotionally exhausting. You start each month already behind, juggling repayments, dodging late fees, and trying to breathe while interest quietly eats your future alive. And the worst part? It feels endless. Because when every dollar of your paycheck is already spoken for before it hits your account, credit becomes the fallback. Not because you're irresponsible, but because the cost of living has climbed Everest and your income's still hanging out at base camp. The result? A nation of Aussies stuck on the hamster wheel, running hard, going nowhere, and hoping the next payday might finally be the one that lasts more than a week. Mental load and money stress. Let's talk about the real toll of living paycheck to paycheck, the one that's not just on your wallet, but on your head and heart. Money stress isn't just an inconvenience or something you can brush off. It's a health issue, plain and simple. The kind of issue that can sneak up on you and slowly chip away at your mental and emotional well-being. Beyond Blue, the mental health charity, has flagged financial stress as one of the leading causes of anxiety and depression in Australia. And honestly, it's no surprise. It's hard to keep your zen when your mind is preoccupied with whether you can cover rent and still have enough for petrol this week, or worse, whether you can do both while also feeding your kids. The weight of it is felt differently by everyone, but it's there for all. Parents feel the guilt of not being able to provide the extras they want for their kids, while singles feel the pressure of carrying everything on their own. And don't think couples are immune. Money fights are on the rise, with disagreements over bills, spending, and savings becoming a regular part of relationships. It's the number one source of tension for many. If you found yourself tossing and turning at night, feeling irritable with loved ones, or dreading the moment you have to check your bank app, you're not alone. This isn't just personal, it's systemic. The way our economy is set up right now, it's putting everyday Aussies in a constant state of stress. This isn't a just deal with it situation. It's a national crisis that's affecting mental health across the board. And it's time we start talking about it more openly, without shame or silence. Okay, so what do we do? Here's the part where we breathe. Because yes, things are grim, but we're not totally powerless. Here are a few real-world tips that are helping real Aussies stay afloat. Track every dollar, not sexy, but effective. Use free budgeting apps like Pocketbook, Money Brilliant, or even just a good old spreadsheet. Awareness is power. Audit your subscriptions. Cancel the gym membership. You're not using it. Be brutal. Reassess every 3 months. Bulk buy and meal prep. If you can, buy staples in bulk, meal prep on Sundays, and use that slow cooker you bought during lockdown. It saves time and cash. Side hustle. But be smart. Uber, Airtasker, freelancing, pet sitting. They're not going to make you rich overnight, but they can cushion the blow. Talk about it. Normalize money convos with your mates, partner, family. The more we talk, the less isolated we feel. No shame in struggling. This is not a personal failure. Push back on bill. Negotiate everything. Phone plans, insurance, even energy providers. A 15-minute call can save you $300 a year. Be that annoying customer. It pays. Seek help, not shame. If it's really bad, talk to a financial counselor. They're free. They won't judge. They'll help. Services like the National Debt Helpline are lifesavers. The bigger picture, aka it's not just on you. Yes, we can all try to save a few bucks here and there. Maybe cut down on takeout or cancel that gym membership you haven't used in months. But let's not kid ourselves. This is a systemic issue. Wages aren't keeping up with costs, at all. What you made last year isn't going nearly as far this year, and it's not your fault. Inflation is doing its thing. Rent is up, groceries are through the roof, and interest rates keep climbing. Meanwhile, affordable housing is vanishing faster than your paycheck at the checkout. And then we've got the politicians. You've probably heard the speeches about cost of living relief, but here's the thing. They keep handing out one-off payments that don't even cover a month of your power bill, let alone your rent, groceries, or petrol. This is a much bigger issue than just renters or low-income earners. More and more of us are working hard and still drowning in debt or barely scraping by. So what do we need? Real wage growth that matches the rising cost of living. Not just a measly pay bump. Actual growth. Affordable housing across the board, including rental properties, because the dream of owning a home is slipping away for an entire generation. Support for essential services like childcare, healthcare, and aged care. Without them, working people are stuck in an exhausting cycle. And let's talk about better financial education in schools. Teach kids how to manage money, not just how to make it. We need serious reform. The system needs a reboot. Until that happens, let's stop judging each other and start supporting one another. We're all in this together, and it's time we started acting like it. Finally, you're not failing. The system is. If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, let me say this loud and clear. You are not lazy. You are not bad with money. You are not alone. Seriously, this is the new reality for millions of Aussies, and it's okay to feel frustrated, scared, or just plain fed up. The cost of living is out of control, wages aren't keeping up, and housing is a distant dream for most. So if you're looking at your bank account and wondering how you're going to make it through the week, that's not a personal failing. It's a symptom of a broken system. Don't let shame keep you silent. Speak up. Reach out. Ask for help when you need it, whether it's from friends, family, or support services. We need to talk about this more, not less. The more we talk about it, the more we realize we're all in the same boat. And remember this, survival is a skill. If you're making it week to week, juggling bills, trying to keep the lights on and food in the fridge, that's resilience. You're doing better than you think. Some days are tough, and you might feel like you're barely keeping your head above water. But you are keeping your head above water. That counts. Maybe one day, we'll look back on all this and laugh over overpriced cocktails saying, Remember when we thought $10 lettuce was normal? But until that day comes, keep pushing through. You're stronger than you realize. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. Keep going, mate. You've got this. You're doing better than you think.